I hugged my British colleague at work, and he froze like I'd committed assault. Meanwhile, two Italian men greeted each other with cheek kisses right next to us, and I thought they were about to propose marriage. Same office, wildly different touch tolerance. Physical contact might be the most cultural thing we do. Let's decode this.
Welcome back to the Etiquette Enigma, where we navigate the invisible rules. Today, touching other humans. Apparently, we're all doing it wrong.
It's wild, right? Like, when is a hug appropriate versus assault?
Depends entirely on your passport. Okay, tell me about this colleague you hugged. What happened?
Right, so this was James. We'd been working together for about 6 months on a project. Got along great. Good collaboration, lots of laughs.
Sounds nice.
So the project wraps up successfully. We're celebrating over drinks with the team. Everyone's happy. I'm American, right? We hug when good things happen.
Oh no.
I went in for a hug. Like a normal, congratulatory hug. Nothing weird about it in my mind.
What did he do?
Absolutely nothing. He just froze. Arms at his sides, body rigid, like I'd attacked him.
How did you feel?
Mortified. I stepped back immediately, tried to laugh it off, but the damage was done. Super awkward.
Did you talk about it?
Later, yeah. After I'd had time to Google, "Do British people hate hugs?" and read about 50 articles on British physical boundaries.
What did you learn?
That British people are generally uncomfortable with physical contact, especially in professional settings. A handshake is plenty. Anything more feels overly familiar or inappropriate.
So your friendly gesture read as...
Way too intimate for a work relationship, even though we got along well.
Did your relationship recover?
It did. I apologized, explained that hugging is just normal where I'm from, assured him I wasn't trying to be inappropriate. He was gracious about it.
But it changed things.
For a bit, yeah. We were both more careful around each other. Eventually, we found our comfortable distance, which was much farther apart than I was used to, but that's the compromise. It's interesting how one moment of physical contact can carry so much meaning.
Right? It wasn't just a hug. It was a whole cultural misunderstanding wrapped in 3 seconds of awkwardness. Quick pause. Huge thanks to everyone suggesting topics. Keep them coming. Seriously, your ideas are brilliant. What should we explore next?
At an appropriate physical distance, of course.
Naturally.
So let's explore this. Why are British people so averse to physical contact?
I think it's about boundaries and privacy. Physical contact crosses into personal territory. And Americans?
We use physical contact to show warmth and connection. It's how we express friendliness.
Which is why you hug everyone.
We don't hug everyone.
You hug people you've met once.
Sometimes.
You hugged your colleague after 6 months of professional interaction.
Because the project went well.
A handshake wouldn't have sufficed.
I guess it would have, but it felt too formal for the moment.
To you, not to him.
Yeah, not to him.
What about those Italian men you mentioned? What was happening there?
Oh, so this was at the same event, actually. Same office celebration.
And?
These two guys, colleagues from our Milan office, greeted each other with these warm cheek kisses. Both cheeks. Hands on shoulders. Very affectionate.
And you fought.
I honestly didn't know what to think. In my American brain, two men greeting each other that way seemed intimate in a way that suggested they were dating.
But they weren't.
Not at all. They were just Italian. That's a normal greeting between male friends in Mediterranean cultures.
So the same physical contact that means romance in one culture means friendship in another.
Right. And I had to completely recalibrate my understanding of what that touch meant.
Did you ever greet them that way?
They tried. The first time one of them went in for the double cheek kiss greeting, I genuinely didn't know what to do. I sort of awkwardly leaned in and then pulled back. Total disaster.
Culture collision.
Completely. But they were patient with me. Eventually, I learned the rhythm of it. Right cheek, left cheek, done. Though it never stopped feeling slightly intimate to me.
But you adapted.
I did, because that's what they were comfortable with. And I didn't want to seem cold.
So you were uncomfortable with too much contact with the Italians, and James was uncomfortable with too much contact from you.
Oh God, I was someone's James experience.
You were?
That's humbling.
What about other cultures? Where does Asia fall on this?
Generally lower touch than Western cultures. Personal space is valued. Physical contact is more reserved. I had a Korean roommate during graduate school, Mina. She was lovely. We became close friends.
What was that like?
It took me a while to figure out her boundaries. Like, I'm a hugger. That's how I greet friends. But every time I went to hug her, she'd sort of stiffen up.
Like James.
Very similar reaction. And I felt terrible because I didn't want to make her uncomfortable, but I also didn't know what I was doing wrong.
Did you talk about it?
Eventually, yes. We were having one of those late-night deep conversations, and I just asked directly, "Do you not like hugs? Am I making you uncomfortable?"
What did she say?
She was so sweet about it. She explained that in Korean culture, especially her generation, physical contact with friends is less common. It's not that she didn't like me. She just wasn't used to expressing affection that way.
Different love language.
Completely. Once I understood, I stopped hugging her. We found other ways to show affection, spending time together, sharing things. That was her comfort zone.
Did she ever become comfortable with hugs?
Actually, yes. After about a year of friendship, she initiated a hug once when I was having a rough day. It was such a meaningful gesture because it was outside her comfort zone. She was adapting for me the way I'd been adapting for her.
That's really beautiful.
It was, and it taught me that sometimes the most meaningful moments come from someone stretching beyond their cultural defaults to meet you where you are. That's what cross-cultural friendship is, isn't it? Meeting in the middle.
Exactly.
What about professional settings? How do touch norms vary there?
Oh, this is huge. I've seen careers affected by touch misunderstandings.
Really?
There was this woman, consultant from Brazil, brilliant at her job, who joined our company for a 6-month project.
What happened?
She was very warm, very tactile. In Brazilian culture, that's normal. Touch while talking, hugs, hello and goodbye, hand on the arm for emphasis. Standard behavior there.
Exactly. But our office was mostly British and Northern European. Reserved, formal, minimal contact.
Already seeing the problem. Oh no.
People were so uncomfortable. There were complaints to HR about her being inappropriate or too familiar.
But she was just being herself.
Right. She wasn't trying to make anyone uncomfortable. She was just operating from her cultural playbook. What happened?
HR had to have a conversation with her about adapting to local norms. She was mortified. She thought she'd been friendly and warm, only to find out people saw her as invasive.
That must have been devastating.
It really affected her confidence. She became much more reserved after that, but you could tell she was uncomfortable with the distance. She finished her contract, but didn't extend it.
So cultural differences in touch actually drove away talented people.
Yeah, and that's the tragedy of it. Nobody was wrong. They were just operating from different frameworks.
Could it have been handled differently?
I think so. If there had been some cultural orientation at the beginning, explaining that British workplace culture is more reserved, she could have adjusted without the HR situation. And if other employees had understood it was cultural, not personal, maybe they wouldn't have been so uncomfortable. Education would have helped everyone.
Exactly. What about greetings specifically? How do those vary?
Oh, greetings are fascinating. They're like this microcosm of cultural touch norms.
Give examples.
Americans do handshakes, sometimes hugs if you know someone well. British do handshakes, maybe a brief hug with close friends, but it's awkward. French do cheek kisses, 2, sometimes more, depending on region.
The kiss count varies by region?
Yes, it's so specific, and you're supposed to just know based on where you are. What about cultures that don't touch at all for greetings?
Japan and Thailand do bows, respectful distance maintained. India does namaste, hands together, slight bow, no physical contact.
So in those cultures, how do you show warmth without touch?
Through other means. Eye contact, tone of voice, the depth of the bow, how much time you spend together. Touch isn't the only language of affection.
That's actually really important to remember. Western cultures often equate physical contact with warmth, but that's not universal.
Right. Someone can care deeply about you without ever touching you. Different expression, same feeling. What about gender dynamics? Do touch norms change based on gender?
Absolutely. This is huge in many cultures.
How so?
In many Middle Eastern and South Asian cultures, physical contact between men is normal. Handshakes, hugs, even holding hands as a sign of friendship. Hand-holding between male friends? Totally normal. It's brotherhood, Nothing romantic about it in that context. But Western cultures would read that completely differently.
Exactly. Right. Americans see two men holding hands and assume they're dating. In Saudi Arabia or Pakistan, they're just close friends. And between men and women?
In more conservative areas, physical contact is generally avoided unless they're related or married. Even handshakes might be declined politely.
So the rules completely flip depending on the gender combination.
Completely. And if you don't know that, you can really offend someone by offering contact that's inappropriate for the context.
Have you experienced that?
Not directly, but I had a colleague who offered his hand to shake with a woman from a conservative Muslim background and she politely declined. He was confused and a bit hurt until someone explained the cultural context, and then he felt bad for putting her in that position.
Exactly. She handled it gracefully, but it was awkward for everyone because he didn't know. So much of this comes down to just not knowing the rules.
Right, and the rules are invisible until you break them.
What's the actual solution here? How do you navigate touch across cultures?
First, pay attention. Watch how people around you interact with each other. That tells you what's normal. And when in doubt, err on the side of less contact. It's easier to add touch than to take it back.
Right. If you're too distant, people might think you're reserved, but not offensive. If you're too tactile, you might genuinely make people uncomfortable. And mirror the other person. If they offer a handshake, shake hands. If they bow, bow. If they go in for cheek kisses, follow their lead. What if you're genuinely uncomfortable with someone's level of contact?
Then you can create boundaries, but do it kindly. I'm not much of a hugger, or I prefer handshakes is honest without being accusatory.
That's vulnerable, though.
It is, but it's also respectful. You're being honest about your needs while acknowledging their intentions were good. Most people are pretty accommodating once they understand.
Any other advice?
Ask if you're unsure. Is a handshake appropriate? Or how do people greet each other here? Most people appreciate the question. And remember that discomfort isn't always bad. Sometimes it's just different. And different can become comfortable with time. Like you with your Korean roommate.
Exactly. We both adapted, and our friendship was richer for it.
That's what it's all about, really. Finding the compromise zone.
Yeah. Meeting each other where we can both be comfortable. Thanks for joining us on the Etiquette Enigma. Remember, your comfort zone isn't everyone's comfort zone. Watch, adapt, and give people grace when they're operating from different touch languages.
And if you're ever unsure, just ask. It's better than accidentally making someone freeze in horror. Like poor James.
I've apologized.
We know. Character growth.